You saw how that girl was staring at you? Like, she bullied.
Here we go. Hey. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Boujee's Business for the official second episode. So I just want to thank you again for tuning in. If you have tuned in to the previous episode, the pilot episode, you know exactly what's coming, what to expect, what we're going to talk about, what we're going to touch on, and so many other things, right? So like mentioned, we're going to talk about business, we're going to talk about music, we're going to talk about purpose, relationship, and so many other things. So today, to kickstart the conversations off, I want to talk about business. And to help me introduce that topic to Boujee's Business, I'm going to introduce Janell Suttle, owner, CEO, and founder of DreamClouds. So, Janell, please tell us a little about yourself.
So, hi everyone. Like she said, my name is Janell Suttle. Thank you, first of all, for inviting me to be on here today. I'm very excited to see just the start of your podcast getting rolled, right? And we got Boujee's Business, the business things that you've been doing, and now you get to bring it to the audience on podcasting, and that's a beautiful thing. And so, as she mentioned, I am founder and CEO of DreamClouds Enterprise, and so what DreamClouds Enterprise is a consultant and career coaching company, but really what we focus on is helping people pursue and most importantly even sometimes identify, right, their purpose or their passion, something that they're really truly wanting to pursue in their life and build a career out of, instead of just finding that everyday job that most people are looking for nowadays, right? Just something that builds the financial income, but it's not only just about building a financial stream of income, but really loving what you get to do day to day, and that's my biggest passion. That's really what DreamClouds got built off of. Just right now what I'm doing is I have so many clients who are really, many of them entrepreneurs, right, starting their own businesses, but some of them can be even students, still looking at what careers are even like in this world and things of that essence. And it's just talking to people about why it's important to, pursue a career that you love, something that you're passionate about. And most importantly, if we're not always open to how to get there, this is where the consulting and the career coaching comes in, and so that you can really take the correct steps in building that personal and career development for yourself, right? To be the professional that you want to be.
Right. So, because everybody, I guess, is in a journey trying to figure out themselves and who they are and where they need to fit in. So I guess, where did you find out, or when did you find out that this is where you wanted to start, or just creating something of your own? How did you know that you didn't want to, join someone else's business, or the business of entrepreneurship was for you? Or just like I said, how did you know that this was for you? There's so many other fields and interests that I'm pretty sure you're into so many other, just being into business. So how did you figure this was for me?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a really good question, because I like to sometimes say, business was always in me, and I think that's one of the first things that you need to look at when trying to identify, your passion and your purpose is something that can't seem to exit your life. And even as a young child, I was always looking to start things of my own. You said, where did that click of entrepreneurship come from? And it was really like, just me babysitting, starting my own babysitting, line, just so I can make some money while I was young, and then taking that opportunity and now buying water bottles and snacks and going to soccer games and building up my own concession stand. And it was just always looking at opportunities and saying like, hey, you know what? I bet I can do something with that and make some money out of it. But really growing up, that stuff was just, fun to me, and it just built a financial stability to me. But realistically growing up, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer, because I was, I had a strong tone. I liked to debate with people. It was big on back and forth, and there was so much knowledge into it. And of course, everyone liked to tell me, lawyers are going to be rich. So I was like, that's the career I'm going for. Give me the money, right? Everything that, I was always so, I don't want to say competitive, but definitely an overachiever. And I knew that being a lawyer wasn't something that was easy. So I definitely wanted to, take that challenge. And as time was going on, and I was always doing well in school, and like I said, having fun with the business opportunities that I was taking, but still pursuing that law degree and, that law career. And until I got into, I want to say, my junior year, of high school, and I had an internship actually with a judge. And it was at a courthouse, and it was just giving me that opportunity. That's why internships are, very important at times. It really let me see what the field was like, and I can make it a short and simple story. I didn't like it. And right then in that moment, I knew law isn't for me. This isn't what I want to do. And so I was like, well, you know what? Looking around at the things that I was interested in, and like I said, always being so hobby-like into entrepreneur stuff, that it was like, okay, I think business is the way to go for me, and maybe even business management. And so that's when I started looking into, taking a business career. But I think what really showed me that it wasn't just entrepreneurship that I wanted to do. I had, a question asked to me one time. It was from my parents, actually, from my mom and dad, and they were talking to me, and they were like, anything you do in life, any career you pick, you're going to be good at it. So that's why it's important that you pick what you want to do. And they asked me, like, why do you want to do what you're doing? Why are you pursuing this business career, right? And I told them, like, well, I want to provide finances for my family. Like, we didn't always grow up in the, wealthiest situations. We had parents who did everything and above to make sure that we were stable and that we were taken care of. But sometimes, with exquisite taste, you always want a little more. And for me, I was like, I want my family to have everything and beyond. Like, anything they want, they should be able to get it without a struggle. And that's what I worked hard for. And one day they were just like, well, when you get to that point, what is it then? Right. What after you have money are you going to do? And that's when it clicked to me that I needed to pursue my passion. And past just finding an opportunity that was going to have money, looking back, I always wanted to be helping people. That was also where my spare time went into. It's just like, what can I do for you? I love to see people succeed. It made me happy. Knowing that I could contribute to their success was like a joy to myself. And so just taking this idea of like, hey, I'm always doing, side tasks that are business related. I'm always trying to start something of my own, which showed I was an entrepreneur. And lastly, I'm very interested and very passionate in, having people succeed and feel good about that. And so I took all those things together, and that's how we came up with DreamClouds.
So I can honestly say that a lot of people need a platform or a business or assistance or aid that can help us really push our purpose and our vision push it to a reality,
Right.
and make it come from a dream, but really create stability. And a lot of us are out of this stability. A lot of us, and I think in this generation, we have this rush or just this urgency to succeed and get and be stable and be the first ones, whether that be the first ones to break these generational curses, the first one to get financial wealth and freedom, the first ones to have healthy relations, whatever the case may be. But we're in an urgency to succeed, right? And just saying DreamClouds, that helps, So I just want to say that what happens when you're not so clear on your, I don't want to say just passion, but what happens when you need to balance, I feel like there's such a strict and a narrow line for how you do things and how you're supposed to succeed, right? So how do you feel about going about your way? And one thing that I want to talk about definitely is just the internships. You mentioned internships and just all this access that have indoors that have opened because of school. So, and I realize that many people, especially now in time, have contradicting views about school and college and, just furthering our education. So where does school play into you? Because it seems that it has opened many doors. So let's hear from a different perspective of what school actually has provided for you and where it could take you and where it has taken you.
Right. So I think you made a good point. And one thing I just want to say on that is just the first thing I thought about is, being open-minded. You made a comment as far as just like, when we get stuck and trying to find, that things we're passionate about or even our purpose and how some of us go about it. And the biggest thing of doing that is really being open-minded, because knowing that this is an ongoing process, right? So I have DreamClouds, and here I am, and I love what I'm doing, and I'm working hard at it, but I also have a career in the corporate world that, you know, isn't maybe my end goal, but it's something I'm still passionate about, and I still love to do, and it's something that's still showing me parts of myself, you know, I'm still learning, and so every step that I take into, you know, pursuing my purpose or, you know, identifying my passions, I'm learning more that really concretes it. It really puts it all together. It's canceling some things out for me, but it's also confirming some things for me. And I think that is one of the ways on how people, you know, identify that type of thing, or really move into their, move forward with it. And just as on the topic of school, back to being open-minded, because I will say, I was an honors student. I always did well in school, right? So I worked hard, as I mentioned, an overachiever. So that's personally something that I just wanted to do for myself, was do well in school. However, I didn't like school. And I thought school was only for academic reasons. And so, you know, I gave my 100% commitment into putting my head into the books and doing well on tests, you know, and doing my homework, all the, you know, tangible things that you could really see. And because of this, and because I was working hard, you know, there were opportunities given to me, such as Rutgers Future Scholars, you know, being in college, I was in Inroads, and throughout high school and college, I was always in honor society. But those were the extracurricular activities I didn't take serious. And so that I wasn't completely dedicated to, you know, I took the offers and I was like, oh, thank you. And really just pushed myself back. And more of that was honestly because I was an introvert, so I didn't always have my social skills alert to, you know, feeling comfortable being in these types of groups, where doing well in the school, the academic parts of school was really just like, you know, you can do that on your own. So for me, right away, I thought school was important because you needed to learn. Right. And that's what I was telling people, you know, but as time really got on and the older I got, I started to realize, and I'm a big confirmer that, you know, not to say that school isn't for everybody, but it definitely isn't needed for everybody to pursue the career that they have in mind. And so that's why I say when they have that statement, it's not always what you know, but it's who you know. And that's where school gave me that networking that I needed. So unfortunately, I can't always, you know, applaud the academic credits that I got from it because it was a lot. But sometimes I can't always remember what I learned in class and how I apply it, right, to my everyday working now and even what I'm trying to pursue. But when I think and I look back on, how do I know I like this, right? Or how do I know this is something that I want to do? Oftentimes it's because of the mentors that I have. It's something that, you know, they taught me, or just from the jobs that I already had, from the schools that I went to, and just like getting into these honor society groups. They were all introducing me to new people, and those new groups of people were introducing me to something new and someone new, and all that kind of just became collective for me to say, like, hey, okay, past school, which may be stressful, you know, and maybe it could take so long and I don't want to be here, but it was a larger value at hand to it. And so that's what I kind of like to tell people when we think about school, you know, it's like, not always is it for the books, but, you know, honestly take into that opportunity of who you're going to meet there, and what else you can do there.
So, you know, and I had to just kind of reflect on my moments in school, just kind of hearing yours, and, you know, just speaking on how you excelled, and, you know, always reaching for the highest, just being competitive. And I feel that that drive has also been in me, you know, but as time, like you said, just being open, and as time has changed, or, you know, passed, and we changed, I became more open about how different ways I can feel like I'm succeeding, you know. And I realized that school is really what you make it. And, you know, this is my senior year currently. So it took me so many years to realize that school is what you make it. And at first I came in with the mindset of, I'm done with school. I don't want to be in school. Why do I have to do this, you know? And even though I still had the option of stepping out, for some reason I stayed in it. And the two lessons that I learned were one, you have to make it with the best that you can. And I realized that school is not for everybody, and I'm a firm believer that it's not for everybody, and that there are flaws in any system that we have, right? So that includes finances or education, whatever the case may be. So it's like, use it to your ability, kind of just take what you can. And I know I kind of was in a loss for who I wanted to be, where I wanted to go. I came in the freshman year saying I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I actually I started off in high school wanting to be on police, and then I went to psychology, and then I went to therapist, and then I went to counselor, and then I went to a whole bunch of other mini tracks, and somehow ended up in performing arts, which I always loved, But throughout that time, I realized that college, before pushing you into the real world, does allow you that time to see and test the waters and decide if this is what you want to do. And had I just been only in school or just in the field for psychology, I would have realized how much more, because while I still have taken those communication and sociology and psychology courses, a lot of my major focus is in communications or performing arts. So I was cutting so much of it off. So that was my first lesson, really just making sure that, I was taking advantage of the time, because I didn't know what I was doing. So I was like, this is a time where I will. And also, I guess the second lesson is still take advantage, because I realized that I was so much of an introvert, and like you said, sometimes doing that will take opportunities from you, And I realized that being in college, being in school can offer so many opportunities and programs. So when you're not stepping out and taking those, you're missing out on a big part of it. It's not just the grades, it's not just the content that we're learning. And that kind of just brought me back to becoming an introvert, because now that I skipped out on so many years, I now had to create my opportunities, as opposed to making my life easier, working smarter, not harder, and taking opportunities that were already kind of put in place in the past. But I decided, okay, let me work by myself, let me focus on myself, and really just create all these opportunities. And yes, it has been a learning experience, and I have learned a lot, but I do realize exactly where it puts me at a disadvantage, because I don't know as many people. I haven't been connected to as many fields. I haven't had the exposure, because there's so many things that I do not know. You don't know until you do know. So there's so many lessons that I am currently possibly missing out on, So just going through that, school, like we said, there's so many paths, there's so many directions that people have to take, and I think the big part of it is being open-minded, like you said, open-minded is really the case.
Right. Just wanted to add, as you were saying, I was thinking, it's not just for school, but really anything sometimes that we get ourselves involved in, and we don't always see the benefits for ourselves, or maybe it's a lot of work, and so we see more of just the effort than something that, the assets or the results that are coming back for us. And I just want to say, even when it comes to school, that content, as you said, that it's not always the content, but this content a lot of times can be learned elsewhere if you think about it, and the education system, there's so many open resources to learning these different things, right? Or really getting the academics of stuff together. But something that you can't imitate is an experience. You can't imitate people, really getting something, even I think, as, I like to tell people really you are what makes your brand unique, because there can be so many schools, and there can just be so many clubs and organizations, that can all be in even just say DreamClouds myself. There can really be so many consulting companies and career coaching companies, project management companies that really has all the same knowledge, that I have. They got it from business school like I got it from, and maybe they're certified such as I'm certified, and they have the book knowledge. But something that you can't pass is experience wisdom, the wisdom that you really get from experience, things that you learn from other people, connections make these type of things. And it's important to take onto that moment, because yes, granted, maybe you can learn it from somewhere else, but because of you being involved in it and me being involved in it, it makes it so much unique from any other program that maybe you can do something. This podcast will be completely different from any other podcast that anybody will see, not because nobody else is talking about business, or nobody else is talking about the importance of school or the importance of networking, but it's because of who we are and what we've seen out of it, right? It's the experience that we play at hand that makes it different than everything else, and that's really, when that being open-minded comes in, because a lot of us, we shut these things down just because we think we know what's coming out of it already. We're like, oh, we've been there, we've done that, or like, I'm just tired, it's nothing but a job, and it's just like, sometimes even those jobs that we hate, the things that don't always end up well, that we might see as failures, those are things we need to embrace as well, because it's a unique experience. It's a learning moment that always can't be, mimicked anywhere else. And so, like you said, you really want to take grasp of that, because you don't always know where you can get it.
Right. So, in lieu of you just kind of bringing up, just kind of opening your eyes to all the resources that you have from different platforms, I want to speak more on DreamClouds and what does DreamClouds offer? What does that bring to the people? Sometimes people may not be in school. Sometimes people may be heavy in school. So who does DreamClouds call out to? Who is DreamClouds reaching for? Or, what kind of people are you willing to work with?
Right.
And what do you offer?
Right. And so, as mentioned, a lot of the clients that DreamClouds are working with right now are mostly entrepreneurs doing their own startup businesses or, lines of careers. However, really we're open to all types of people. We want to be open to our audience as far as, like mentioned, we have student packages that we're offering. Really just helping the students at an early age, starting between like high school and then going into college, of how to build their resume, how to make, a cover letter direct, clear in their LinkedIn, getting your personal branding together, and what are the professional development tools that you can be using into an interview and things of that essence. So we really like to, start at the groundwork of, how can you get your career started? What are some of the main resources that you need in getting a career started? And becoming a professional, but it doesn't stop there, because I like to say from there are people who are maybe already working, who are looking for a career change, or maybe they're not working, they're not looking for a career change, but they're just looking for, like, they know what they want to do, but they just had a hard time finding a job. And so we want to be able to be open to those as well. So of course, we specialize in building companies and building brands and building individuals as far as entrepreneurs. But realistically, we take this knowledge that we have and we're able to apply it to all age groups, all career industries, right? Like as mentioned, just for the type of clients that I'm working with already, there are, the performing arts and the entertainment, but there's also the cooking industry, so baking, and then we have event planning, we have the music industry, just as far as artists and things of that essence. And it really, really branches out, and I even try to work with my family as far as just like, maybe my little cousins, and like how can they get ready for college, how can they get ready for school, and most importantly, who doesn't need like, budgeting, financial planning, and that's any career sometimes outside of your job, you just need that for your personal life. And these are the type of things that DreamClouds is offering. What DreamClouds' main goal really is, we always say that we want to be able to fill in that gap, no matter what it is. Whether it's accounting services that somebody's looking for, marketing, whatever it is that's kind of holding them back, the knowledge, the network that they need, that's what we want to do for them, be that open door, right? And so, yeah, that's mainly, like I said, and so how we're providing those services really, though, like I said, just, there's so many other career coaching and consulting companies, but what differs DreamClouds from the rest is our core values, that love, vision, and pursuit. And I think that is what really helps, people, clients identify if they want to work with DreamClouds, and more importantly, it really helps DreamClouds see the types of people they want to work with, because we really like to take in the most ambitious group of people. There's something about not just looking for a job to be financially stable, but really finding a job that is going to make you happy. First of all, that's a bold step in the first place. It takes time, and it takes a lot of effort and energy to get there. And it takes a lot of belief that some people don't always have, So to take that first step, those are the type of people that we're looking to work with. But it really does show us, like, when you are pursuing your purpose, when you have a strong passion to do something, nothing can stop you from doing it. And so that is what shows DreamClouds. You know, that's what makes DreamClouds excited, because there's always just like this eagerness to move and to have something being growth. I love it so far because you get to see from the people that I work with that, you know, their failures and their setbacks, it doesn't stop them. And that's what's beautiful about having something that you're so passionate about, is that it takes a lot for you to have to stop. You know, it's really just that push and that push of keeping going. And that's what we want more people to do. DreamClouds wants to increase that population of people who say, like, you know, this isn't just my job, but this is what I love to do. And like waking up every day and actually enjoying the work that they have at hand.
So I actually am a client, if anybody did not know, of DreamClouds, right? And I can say that when I first started, because Boujee's business, and many of you guys know Joyful Noise as well, realize that this is kind of my full-time thing. I went straight into it, and I've kind of been taking a lot of these college years to, while I am in college still, but to pretty much set myself up so that my opportunity can be set up for myself. And that's a big part of my brand too, is creative leadership. So creating something out of nothing. And I think DreamClouds has definitely helped, because for certain things I'm like, I just want to plan and I just want to put out and I just want to do. And DreamClouds is like, let's think about it, let's plan, let's, you know, create a strategic, but also it helped me get out of my box, you know, so get out of my box for just what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, my quality, the how much time I'm putting into it, how consistent I'm being, thinking ahead and not just thinking what are my conditions right now, but how will I react, act, and behave in the conditions later, so that I'm already prepared for that, so I don't get in a situation where I'm not ready, right? But a big part of me getting outside of the circle was the brand. The branding is such a big point, and really, Boujee, guys, is just getting her branding together. But you guys know me, you know Boujee. But, you know, a big part of that, you know, even just scrolling, you know, during our meetings, scrolling through my page, social media, YouTube, just trying to figure out what makes the cut, what doesn't. And it's a hard part of, I want to be myself, but I also have to show this image. And it's more so, I wouldn't say pushing myself back, but more so showing the world more of what. So for instance, if I'm a public speaker, yes, I might be shy in my ways, but how does that necessarily, you know, show to I am a public speaker? That's what I'm. So, you know, just picking and choosing which things may not be in there, which things may be more dominant in there, you know, and how to really present yourself. And one of those things that I realized is that charging, you know, are just creating service fees, and how that I guess correlates to you or looks back to you, because, you know, if you look like $1 million, you can charge $1 million. Or if you look like, you know, you just won the lottery, you know, people are going to think that as well. That is what comes with your brand, you know. But if you just are walking around, or, you know, just conducting business in any way, and that's not just with appearance, but any way, appearance for your business, yourself, or however you conduct any activity that goes on in your business, you know, that is going to give an image to people on who you are. So I see on your shirt it says billionaire. So just explain what it means to look like a millionaire, billionaire, you know, and, you know, begin to step into that role as if, and, you know, already become, I guess, be premeditated, and then step in and know, like, this is what I can charge, or this is what and it's not even just about money or charging, but just this is what I can offer. So this is kind of what I am, this is what I'm expecting, I guess, or requiring, you know. So can you just speak on that?
It's kind of, as we say, too much is given, much is required. So yeah, exactly. If you're giving a lot or you're getting a lot, definitely expect to have to be required of a lot. And so I do like that, you know, that is a very good point, because definitely you have to go out there. The image that you put at hand really is, you know, you, yourself, your branding, your business. You know, I love that challenge that you had, that brand your business challenge. But really, how you portray and display yourself, right? You know, you would always hear corporate jobs, you know, talking about what you put on your Instagram, on your social media, because, you know, other jobs will be looking at that and making sure that, like, what they see, if that's something that they want in their company, and things of that essence. And when we say look the part, I think, you know, it can go in a different way. When I want to say, like, looking like a millionaire, looking like a billionaire, right? Varies in the sense of don't always think that it's the physical appearance of clothing. We always like to talk about people like Steve Jobs, you know, and like Bill Gates, and it's like, what are they wearing outside? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's, like, a lot of people you see, a lot of millionaires, billionaires are not going out in these large designer brands every day. They're not always driving, you know, maybe they have a weekend car, maybe they have an Audi, a Beamer arranged for the weekend. But some of them, a lot of them, you know, are thinking economically, and they want to save their money. They see where the growth is going. And so when we say, you know, looking like a millionaire, looking like a billionaire, it's really just how you display yourself to other people, you know, really how you hold a conversation, and how you're branding your business in and of itself. And so for myself, like, this example is funny. Just the other day, I was talking to my mom, and it's really based on the training. You know, she was telling me a story just in the fact of, like, when I was young, and I'm the middle child, so, as you know, right? So this was when I was the youngest at the time, so I didn't have a little sibling, and, you know, my mom was telling me her and my godmom would take me to these nice restaurants, Chart House, and all these other places, and get me dressed up, nice and fancy. And now, mind you, my little sister only 2 years, year and a half younger than me, so I couldn't have been but so old, you know, for me to still be the only one, or the youngest one at that point. And she would get me dressed up, and they would take me out to these elegant restaurants. Why? Because their reasoning was, we need to prepare her, you know, to be able to go into these nice places and have an elegant conversation and hold herself at it, yada yada. And I remember past my mom and my godmom, I had one of my aunts, you know, who was always getting me dressed up, and you know, she would teach me how to properly use my knife, you know, cut my steak and things like that, really making sure that I was, like, in a sense, a lady. And these are things that, you know, we were just learning to be polite, you know, and just have etiquette, I guess, in a sense, you know, just being very, I don't know, like, you know, just a little more high class, you know, something that you know how to kind of be appealing to any group of people you're around. I think that was the first step of something for myself, so it wasn't a bit of training, because then for me, I kind of already had this lifestyle of, like, okay, even though that's not something I do every day, I have a mind switch of when I get into certain places or when I'm around certain people, you know. That's not always how I was with my friends. I do like to sludge bag, you know, and I like to hang out, but I knew when and where to do that. You know, there were times where I talked to my friends one way with maybe slang, but then when I get into work, or I get into school, or I'm having, even with my friends, but let us have a deep and intellectual conversation, you may hear the way I'm talking switch up. Why? Because it's how you're saying things and how you're displaying things. This is what people are looking at. It's, you know, a lot of times people are saying, you know, it's not just what comes out your mouth in a conversation that's the language, but there's always those other things, that physical body language, you know. Those are the type of things that are speaking to people. These are the type of things that people are looking at. And, you know, if this part of being looking like a millionaire is going to help you gain more clients. Why? Because they're going to trust that there's something that you're doing that you must know. Because if they think like, hey, look at how he or she is carrying themselves, and, you know, they see other people really feeling comfortable with that, you know, or saying to themselves, maybe they're not so familiar with the industry and things like that, but you to them are the image of what success is. You know, that's something that you want to be able to have and people to strive for. So like I said, it's not always just about the clothing, but it really is how do you know, show people who you are, the type of personality you're giving people, because it's that first impression, you know, you only get one first impression, and it's that first impression that you leave with people to let them know, like, maybe they know what they're talking about and I should listen out more. Let me look into what they're doing and see. I like what I see, you know, sometimes it's not always like we always want to teach ourselves to get past the words. It's not just what we hear, but it's also, you know, making the actions fit to it. And so don't, you know, only just present to people saying what you have, but show them what you have, you know? Really having your actions and the physical appearance of things supporting what you're saying.
So, you know, it's not just the Gucci belt, it's not just the laid, bundles. It's not just the drip down ice. It's not just that, and while that is all nice, it's not just that.
Right.
And I think that was also a big part of me, just learning what was me, and who I was trying to force, what kind of person I was trying to, and I realized for me, you guys might see me dressed really bougie on here, pretty, but I'm a chill person, and a lot of the times I'm really down to earth, so, but I also realized that who said you can't be both,
Right.
and it's just all about knowing yourself and confidence, and one thing about, just what you're offering and what you're requiring is confidence. And I know people who can literally sell a used tissue,
Right.
because they have confidence in what they're doing and it's not, nobody needs a used tissue, nobody needs that.
Right.
But their confidence in saying, hey, I got something that you want, and they have the drive to reel them in, and they just have all, they practice this. This is how they are presenting themselves, how they're conducting their business, and all that really matters because, they will walk away with 100 sales of used tissues while one person who has created a teleport will get 100 no's because they don't know how to sell it, So, the opportunity is all ours, and I think we just need to know how to go about it, right? So that being said, DreamClouds has helped me, it has helped me, my look, it has helped my focus, it has helped my tunnel vision, it has helped my business, Boujee's business. The reason I can come on here every week and speak to you guys is because I have definitely been working under DreamClouds, and, probably more than, a couple, well, really every day. Let me just say this. I'm really on her radar every day. Like, let me ask you this. But all these things have helped me, push me to, just really figure out what I want and get there. And not just, dream. I don't want to dream anymore. I don't want to dream. But DreamCloud says, hey, let me take your dream and make it a reality. So if anybody wants to get involved with DreamClouds, and just, get connected, see what you have to offer, how exactly would they reach out to you, and what is anything else that you really want to speak about DreamClouds?
Right. So for anyone who is looking out, we do have Instagram and LinkedIn. We're on social media, so you can follow my Instagram at DreamClouds Ent. Also on, like mentioned, LinkedIn, so that's DreamClouds, one word, and then Enterprise being the second. More importantly, we have websites under construction and things, so we will get back to you on that. But you can always, email myself as well if you're looking for services. So that's janell.suttle@outlook.com. And really, I just wanted to again say thank you for bringing me here. I really enjoyed having this conversation today because it really brought me back to just why DreamClouds is who we are, and why I'm doing this today in the first place, right? You saying the progress that DreamClouds has helped you accomplish is amazing, and it's something that I can always feel proud about. It's something that, we want to continue to hear from people. It's just like, oh, that's great, and let's do more, let's not just dream, let's make it a reality. And so from DreamClouds, just to all of you watching, we just want to say, especially with 2021 coming up, never let anything stop you. I think 2020 has shown enough of us just a life of uncertainty. We can't always predict these things. We don't always know what's going to happen. And even still, maybe I think 2020, more importantly, it showed us not every job is secure. Sometimes if we're not pursuing what is 100% for us, we might not have something to do tomorrow, right? So it's just these types of things that's saying, like, let's not waste any more time, right? Like, let's get to business. We were so happy to see the growth for Boujee's business and a lot of the other people that we're working with. And that's something that I think is worth challenging, in this world. It's something that's definitely worth, like it said, it's hard to accomplish sometimes, really looking past what everything and everybody else is saying. It comes with a lot of struggles. something you mentioned, just for you to say, like, for us to both be introverted and shy, right? And here we are both trying to network and take these speaking opportunities as careers. And it's just like, that just goes to show you the types of struggles and challenges that will come with pursuing your purpose. There's things that people say that it's just like, what you're challenged with in life is, what you're supposed to be doing. And so whether sometimes that is being shy, it's a lot of times public speaking,
Right.
or just, if you seem to like, bite your tongue a lot, or it's just like because maybe you got anger issues and blah, 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 oftentimes you'd be surprised, like, the amount of spiritual figures in life, but that came from hard struggles of maybe working in the streets and things of the illegal past, or whatever the case may be. And it just goes to show that you shouldn't be afraid to, take these challenges and use them as observations in your life to say, hey, I know what happened in my life. I think that's something that we really like to do, is identify the things that happened in our life. And it's just saying, well, I want to be there for somebody else, like that's a big purpose thing, is saying, evaluating yourself and saying, like, what? If I have anyone like myself, going through the same thing that that I went through, like, I would hope to be there for them like this. I would want to be able to give them this. Or maybe you're not thinking about the next person. You just thought about yourself and was saying, like, if I had gone through this again, like, I sure wish I had, or I sure wish I did. And now that you have that knowledge, now that you have that experience, you can work on it, You can pursue your purpose that way. And more importantly, you can be helping other people pursue their purpose that way. And so, once again, you can find me on all social medias to get contacted, and thank you.
All right, so you heard it here first on Boujee's Business. I want to thank you again, Janell. Thank you for having DreamClouds, sharing the platform and just the business for people who want to get involved. There's a lot of entrepreneurs now. There's a lot of people who are trying to step in, just create stability for themselves and financial freedom. So, we need DreamClouds. We need Janell Suttle. We need Boujee's Business. We need all of this, right? So I want to say thank you for coming on here. And yeah, definitely tune in for next week for the next conversation. Follow Janell on any social media. There's many pages, so we will drop any links or pages down below. And yeah, make sure, like I said, you are tuned in.
Right, and for those who are interested, as a last announcement, when you're seeing DreamClouds, we do have a workshop coming up January 23rd, so we want to get you guys all ready for that. A lot of what was discussed today on, what about the people who don't exactly know what it is that they want to pursue, what their passion is, or maybe they do, but now they need to know, what should I do next to make that happen? Those are the topics that we're going to be touching upon, and really actually, doing activities that are going to help you take those next steps in your career. So once again, it's January 23rd. The link for tickets are in my Instagram bio. Also, feel free to contact myself or Joy for it. Tickets do end on January 7th. That will be the last day that you can purchase. But be available for many raffle entries, just the information that's coming about, and a lot of business development. And of course, guest speakers. We have Joy here as a co-host with a lot of other guest speakers coming. And so we can't wait to bring this more to you guys.
Okay, so make sure you guys get your tickets for the DreamClouds Workshop. The logo or the motto is love, vision, and pursuit. So make sure you find that love, that vision, and you go out and you go after it, right? I want to thank DreamClouds for coming on here today, Janell Suttle, and I just want to say thank you for everybody who's tuned in.
Thank you guys.
A, B.